We had an allocation that we normally would give for small town planning. We've been working through Wailuku Main Street as the major small town planning organization. Because there's an Attorney General investigation going on currently, what we did was we moved that allocation pretty much intact out of the specific line item for Wailuku Main Street into small town planning, pending the results of that investigation. Now, at the same time, we also want to be able to progress with small town planning. So, if the decision is delayed for a long period of time, we want to be able to access some of that money to do some of the work with the small towns that Wailuku Main Street would have done with the money had they been allocated that money. So that's part of the discussion that went on with the council on how that money needs to be put there so that it can be accessible to do work while the investigation is going on as well. But the intent is, if cleared, to work with Wailuku Main Street to reinstate whatever money we can appropriate to them. There are going to be conditions that are going to be set, however, and should be very clear. We are currently also going through and trying to make the reporting process much more definitive so that the department has better control on what money is being spent for and how it's being spent and how it's being reported, because it is public funds. Again, this is still, we still have to work with all these different organizations to try and find out how we're going to be able to get their programs through. And for instance, Kia Community Association was asking for funding to be able to plan the tree planting and landscape beautification project in Kihei. Makawa, we're looking at trying to redo the sidewalks. Makawa was also trying to put restroom facilities there. In Molokai, we might have to do some redesign of the Molokai Kanakakai central area. There's a lot of different organizations that want us to look at different things for their communities. And we need to start looking at them not just from the perspective of one organization, but how can we fund this with all the organizations in mind as well. We always ask the nonprofits to look for other sources of funding, and with few exceptions, they do. Wailuku Main Street happens to be one that is predominantly using county funding. But we're also trying to get them to look at other methods of funding as well. Well, in the past, Wailuku Main Street has come up with design and work with the design of, for instance, Molokai, the sidewalks and the streetscapes in how the community wanted Molokai Center to be done, Kanakakai to be done. In Makawa, there were plans on how to do the sidewalks and how to beautify various areas of the community. And there were opposition comments as well. So this is something that has to be balanced out. In the design of the buildings, a lot of review is done as to the architectural appropriateness of various buildings that are being restructured within the community. And Wailuku Main Street has gone through and they're consulted on how design should be made, what is appropriate, what's not, even the color of paint that's used for the buildings so that it doesn't, proverbial stick out like a sore thumb. You know, there are appropriate colors that can be used for painting that give the general community a strong theme, or the appropriateness of design of windows and doors and how you're going to remodel even bathrooms. So these kind of things Wailuku Main Street has been working on for the county.